Coming up on this program, we show you how to get connected. Find out how to choose an internet service provider. Discover the newest form of communication, electronic mail.
Ways down and ready to ride. One by one, billion by billion, and holding up half the sky. Raise your hand if you're ready and willing. If you know it's time. Time for a girl on time. Time for a girl on time. Time for a girl.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to my kitchen, which has a skylight in it that I assumed would be very good for lighting, but as you can see, it is too much lighting. Anyways, I hope everybody's well. We have a fun little week planned for us, and we're starting that week by me challenging myself to bake or cook or do something while we watch a case. So we're gonna watch some court, we're gonna cook in the kitchen, baking actually, and we'll get started. I will get things going. I'm gonna try not to pause the video much and see if we can beat the case and get going. Thank you for being here. If you're new, please hit the subscribe button. That's what it's called, the subscribe button. We're gonna be making vanilla muffins cake with raspberries in it. It's gonna be delicious and very easy. The one thing I've cheated on is that I've already preheated the oven to 350 degrees. Oh, and I gotta put my apron on. Thank you again to Cellulite Yoga Pants for my beautiful handmade apron. It is so lovely. And yes, this is a real kitchen. Anyways, also I had to move everything into here. We're playing things through other audio, so if it's working, we're happy. Also, who knew that a stove worked well for a mouse? Anyways, okay. Judge Bromlick was back today. He's being a dick a little bit, so that's what we're gonna watch while we get going. That's the wrong site, Mike. Also, I'm not gonna put comments up because my hands are about to probably be busy / dirty. So let's get it going. But I see the comments. If you'll remember, you guys, this case, Dad has 2 new kids. Mom doesn't want him to have the kid. The kid's 12.
The record, this matter is before the court for the purpose of reviewing parenting time. This hearing is being conducted via Zoom. The present is the plaintiff mother, Danielle Whitaker. In addition, attorney Timothy Churchill is present, representing the defendant, father Brian Jansen. Mr. Jansen is present. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
This matter was before the court on the defendant's motion to modify parenting time. When the parties were last in court, the court.
Your Honor, I am so sorry. I cannot hear you at all.
I'm sorry.
It's so soft. I cannot hear anything.
Okay, I'll adjust this microphone. Maybe you can turn up your volume on your phone. I'm not sure. I wasn't aware that there was any issues this morning. In any event, this matter is before the court on the defendant father's motion to modify parenting time. When the parties were last before the court on September 4th, the court ordered that the minor child be interviewed by Ms. LaPrade this morning, and then the parties appear later this morning for a review of that issue. Appears that we lost Ms. Whitaker. Oh, Ms. Whitaker,
Yes.
can you hear the court?
Yes, I'm here. I just had to stop my video so that I can have the phone up to my ear. I can hear everything you're saying. I just cannot hear when it's not up to my ear. I'm so sorry.
Okay, but yeah, definitely stop and interrupt me if in fact you cannot hear.
Okay, I will. I can hear you perfectly now. I just can't see you.
Okay, that's fine as long as we can communicate.
Yes, thank you.
Ms. LaPrade, obviously, we have a 12-year-old child here, Ms. LaPrade. presumably interviewed Evan this morning. I'm
Yes,
not
Your
sure
Honor,
what
I
the
did. I had the
recommendation is.
pleasure of meeting with him this morning.
Okay. Mr. Pratt, do you have a recommendation for the court? There's some in the queue which says motion change printing time, and it's blank after that.
The bottom, the very last part where the notes are, it says motion to change parenting time be denied. My recommendation is we leave things as they are today, Your Honor.
Okay. The copy of the recommendation the court's queue does not have the words.
Miss LaPrade coming in denying people's dreams. Hold on. I have to keep myself on track here. So we've got our 2-minute timer. I can only 2-minute talking timer, Paisley, like you're a kindergartner. Seriously, we're gonna keep to this. Here's the thing. We've run into a problem already. I bought muffin. Do you know the Muffin Man? I love muffins. I wanted to make muffins. I made a thumbnail about muffins. But here's the thing. I can't find my muffin tin. Rachel, hi, happy Monday. I can't find my muffin tin. I'm not gonna let that get me down. Okay? But this was not a bait and switch about muffins, is what I want everyone to know. We'll transition this into a sheet. But, yeah, morning court. And so we have just a few more minutes to talk about this. So Judge Bronlick relies upon friends of the court to give him advice and say what they think should happen. I remember this case. We listened to quite a bit of it before. They argue about fucking everything. It is so frustrating to me. Sally Port, that would be amazing. Thank you. So what we're making, if you're just joining us, is not muffins anymore. That's okay. We're gonna make it in a sheet pan, and it'll work just the same. The key test here is, will I be able to make and bake this cake before the end of this video? That's the goal here today. Let's see if we can do it. I am coming to the end of my talking time. We'll get back to the case. And you guys are making me laugh. I do see the chat, but I've got to focus for a minute. The first thing we have to do, first of all, the recipe called for butter. I'm putting canola oil in because it's easier to measure, and I have it. All right, Pace, that's it. Back to it.
Be denied.
Let me get that fixed. I apologize.
So obviously, Mr. Pratt, having interviewed Evan, has determined that it's best interest of Evan that the printing time continue as previously ordered and that not be modified at this point in time. Presumably, Ms. Whitaker is agreeable with that recommendation. Mr. Churchill.
Well, my client, Your Honor, is not agreeable with it. I know the front of the court felt before having two additional half siblings was not any change of circumstances when I asserted otherwise. I know right now our concern is this. I mean, the parties had a history of joint legal physical, school started. My client's at 143 days now. There have been no problems with the week on, week off through the summer. That's what my client really, However, this 11-day stretch has to go without seeing the child. It's a long time, and the child has complained before. I won't get to see it for almost 2 weeks. And this is a father that's involved with the child's life, and that gap in there on that extra week, he right now has every Friday afternoon through Monday morning, the first 3 weekends of the month, and it's that last week that results in an 11-day break before he gets to see the child at all. And we weren't seeking any reduction in support or anything, just an extra day or two, or to get part of that other weekend. She has them all week during the weeks, and I think there is a change in circumstances when you bring into a new relationship that the child bonds with and likes to see and has a good relationship with. And I've made more, and we still stand on those issues there too. So,
All right, thank you, Mr. Churchill. But obviously, Mr. Janskin can go to a cross-country or track meet and see his son, can he not?
Yes,
yeah,
and
he
I
does that
have.
occasionally, but he,
Across the hall.
Mr. Churchill, maybe you should come back in the courtroom. You're breaking up. Your reception is very bad. If you're across the hall, if you want to come into the courtroom, it'd be much easier to communicate.
yeah, I can do that, Your Honor. I am right across the hall. Okay.
Then do it. Breaking up is hard to do. Hi, Mikey. I
Okay,
heard
I'll
your
be right
vacation-
there.
Yeah, we heard you, buddy. I heard your vacation got a little fandangled, but I'm glad to hear you guys are doing something fun. We are making cake. Look at that's the mom here. They argue about just about everything. We need first of all 1 cup of white sugar and half a cup of either butter or oil. Hi, William. How are
All right,
you?
Mr. Churchill is in the courtroom. Perhaps it can be much easier to communicate. The question the court had is Mr. Jansen always can see his son when he practices or participates in cross-country or track meets.
Yes, Your Honor.
Turn around the microphone, please, Sarah.
Part of the problem, if he goes to the child's events and it's on mom's days, child's afraid to come over and see father.
Well, he's got to talk with him. I mean, it's a 12-year-old. This is not a 6-year-old child. And obviously, let's assume there's changed circumstances. Any court, Ms. LaPrade is very experienced working with young people. This is a 12-year-old. This is not a 6-year-old child. So we're going to put a lot of weight in that child's input. And obviously, Ms. LaPrade has interviewed this child. And obviously, this recommendation is based on input she's received from this child, notwithstanding what dad wants or mom wants.
Your Honor.
So the only question the court had, Ms. Whitaker, is what about some additional time? And yes, the school year is important. We need consistency during the school year. What about maybe an overnight during the 4th week after cross country is concluded, but before track begins? There's a period of time. Evan does not play any winter sports, correct? He just runs cross country in the fall and track in the spring. Is that correct?
As of now, Your Honor, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, as of now, he has mentioned that he wants to do art club, which starts in the fall. But Your Honor, I would like to ask Mr. Churchill if he is aware that Brian is not spending his weekend time with Evan that he has currently. And I have all of the dates here that just since we were at court 2 weeks ago and you, Your Honor, told Brian that he needs to start attending Evan's events, correct? Even on his parenting time, Brian chose to not attend, he missed 9 hours with Evan. Did not come to his homecoming parade, had his parents pick him up, take him home, missed an hour and a half Friday. The very next day, Saturday the 14th, that was Brian's parenting day, had his parents pick him up at 10 a.m., took him to his race till after 4 p.m., gave him no sunblock and no food for the day, missed 6 hours with Evan. And then the following Saturday, the 20th, missed another hour and a half with Evan.
Oh, she's so bitter. Ma'am, it shines through. How do you know hour by hour what is happening with your child when he's not in your care, in custody? He's 12 years old. You must be drilling into him to get this info. And I'm not trying to be rude, but like, come on. You guys need to be just better together. You know what? Grandparents can't always, oh, it frustrates me. It's frustrating. Anyways, in the meantime, we're going to take 2 eggs and we are going to put those into the sugar mixture, which has been combined with the oil. But the way to make sure your shells don't go in is to crack these into a container first. And that way you don't fuck up your whole batter.
It's all his parenting time. So can we get an answer out of Brian as to why he is still not attending Evan's events, even on his parenting time? I don't feel that giving him more time.
It's It's a legitimate question.
Mm-hmm.
My client has a lot of responsibilities with other children. He's also a karate instructor. He works full-time. I can't explain. I mean, he's always cared for the child when he has a child, and what he really does on his time is really his own business, not hers, as long as it's not harming the child. We don't micromanage everything she does.
This is parenting time. We're talking about parenting time. We're not talking about his karate time. We're talking about parenting time with Evan.
Well, when she has her parenting time, she usually sticking the kid in a room with the games.
Okay, well, that's a legitimate question. Do you want Mr. Jansen to respond to that, or you just respond on his behalf in terms of it's his time, he can do what he wants, he doesn't have to spend time with Evan if he doesn't want to during his parenting time?
I think he could answer that better than I could.
Okay. Mr. Jansen, do you want to respond to Ms. Whitaker?
Yes. So I do my best with spending the time with Evan. I know recently I've had a few issues with, for example, my car I had in the shop, and I made it a point to make sure that Evan had transportation to his race and back from his race. I do spend time with him when he's on my time. It'd be ideal to be able to have more opportunities to spend with him on my time, which is why I think the week on, week off would be the most ideal and has historically worked for us. And also, the plaintiff has complained on record that of her disinterest in the schedule regarding the lack of time she gets with Evan during the school week, saying that she, quote, is doing all the brunt of school. And then has also complained about the not having times on weekends uninterrupted by the school routine. So she's complaining about doing the brunt of schoolwork, and then also, but then on the other hand, is refusing a schedule that is mutually beneficial for both parties and is looking out for Evan's best interest. Not to mention all the other aspects that we have.
This is the Professional 600 KitchenAid. Yeah, it's the one that you bring up and down with the lever. I have it on top of a board to make it easier to move, but it would be pretty solid standing there. This mixer is a very good mixer. What I was trying to show you guys was the consistency of this mix, which is like very, very demure, very eggy, very beautiful. Okay. Anyways, so I mixed the egg. Oh, for fuck's sakes. This is the one problem with this style, right? Like, you can't put that on first. Well, whereas the tilt head ones you can, I guess. But anyways. What are we doing next? Fixing the camera. Then we've added our egg, our sugar, our oil, vanilla next. All of the wet ingredients first, folks. Except for milk, which you do at the end. 2 teaspoons of vanilla. 2 teaspoons of vanilla. This is a half a teaspoon, so that means we have to do 4 of these. These people are fighting about art class. This poor kid. This poor kid, huh? Anyways. This mixer's great for so many different things. Anyways, let's continue on. We'll mix that in, and then I'm going to mix up the flour.
Presented to the court as far as why the schedule would be in his best interest. Not only taking account Evan's what he had told me back then, but also all the other things that I had presented that we had presented to the court before. But I do enjoy spending time with them. I do try my best to spend the time I can with him and make sure he gets to his events if I, for some reason, am not able to. Like, for example, I had car issues with my car. I wanted to make sure I get that taken care of. And I wanted to make sure that he got up to his events and that he came back. This does not at all make me a unfit parent like the plaintiff is trying to paint the picture of me, nor has there been any accusations that my having parenting time or additional parenting time would endanger the child's physical, mental, or emotional health.
No question. No one's suggesting you're an unfit parent. No one's suggesting you're an unfit parent. You're a good parent. The question is, are you going to his cross-country practices and matches?
Yes, I have gone to them.
Okay. All right. Miss
Brian,
Whitaker
Evan had 6
suggesting you were not.
events. Evan had 6 events that recently. Brian has gone to 1. And I'm sorry, but I do understand having car trouble, but when his parents, Brian's mom and dad, are coming to Brian's house to pick Evan up per Brian's request, why can't he ride with them and go to the events? I don't think that's the issue. I really don't. There's no
Here's
reason.
the other aspect, that while he is on my time, if I choose to have him ride up there with my parents, that is how I'm choosing to do
but
it.
when you're taking me
Do
to
the best that I
court for
can when
more
I can get
time
up there
and you
and
were
make sure I'm
Okay, hold
able to get
on.
up there.
Okay, we're denigrating to an argument. We're not getting an argument here. It's a legitimate question. Obviously, it's fine with your parents picking Evan up, but obviously, if they're taking to an event, you should be at that event. If in fact you want more parenting time, this is not grandparent parenting time. This is parenting time for the parents. Mr. Whitaker, Mr. Jansen, Ms. Whitaker, the court just had one question. What about, obviously, this is a school year. The summer parenting time will continue week on, week off, but the school year is Evan's got a lot of activities, and we don't want to interfere with those activities. What about the fourth week of the month when between cross country and track? What's your thoughts of maybe dad having maybe a Wednesday overnight during that fourth week?
I would like to acknowledge what Brian just said about me. I am not complaining about doing the brunt work. Clearly, given my presence, I attend everything for our child. Everything. I have missed one event in 4 years. One.
The question, I don't need this diatribe.
Miss Whitaker?
I am
Miss
not
Whitaker?
in agree. Yes.
What about dad having?
I am not.
What's your thoughts about dad having parenting? Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
Let me just repeat the question again. Maybe you can answer the question. What do you think of dad? I'm just trying to see if there's some middle ground here. What do you think of dad having Evan on the overnight on the fourth week of the month between cross country and track during the winter months?
I feel with that Evan was interviewed today. He said I'm assuming.
I'm asking you, Mom. I'm asking
I don't
you.
agree
You know
with
better
it.
than anyone. The two of you are the parents of Evan.
Yes, sir. And
I
feel
know that Mr. LaPrade has interviewed Evan. I know that. You don't need to tell me that, ma'am. The court's question is, what's your opinion? Are you opposed to dad having parenting time, say the fourth Wednesday of the week, the month?
I am opposed to
cross
it.
country and track.
Yes, I am opposed to it, given that he is not currently spending the time he has with him. Maybe if that changes, we can revisit this in 6 months. But for right now, I think it's in Evan's best interest to keep the schedule the same.
Right, Mr. Churchill, anything further?
Again, that 11 days is a big gap. I really question her sincerity in working with him. All she seems to do is always extremely critical of everything he does, tries to micromanage everything he does. And I've got emails from the past where, quote, I will never work with you with our child.
That was the past.
His own parenting schedule. And a lot of that, I don't think has changed. I don't see any harm to giving him one extra night during that period. She still has more time than he does. And it's not going to interfere with her weekend. And it'll just lessen that gap that he has to go without seeing him. That's almost 2 weeks.
Currently, dad takes him to school on Monday morning, correct?
Yes.
How long a drive is that? All right. All right, the court's going to modify the recommendation of Mr. LaPrade. They recognizing obviously Mr. LaPrade put significant weight in Evan's opinions, but the court will permit to grant father parenting time on Wednesday overnights on the fourth week of the month between cross country and track seasons. So when cross country is done, Evan will spend the fourth Wednesday of the month with his dad overnight until track begins.
Okay, if that's the case, then
if
I
there's
do
problems,
have.
Ms. Whitaker, you can file a petition saying, hey, this is not working. Evan's it's created a lot of problems for Evan. But I've not heard that that's going to create a significant problem for him. And Mr. Jansen, you need to spend time with him on those Wednesdays. You can't be off doing something on your own and going, now, do you have karate on Wednesday nights, the fourth Wednesday of the month?
I do not.
Okay, if so, you should have Evan as part of that karate class. You got to spend time with him. This is parent time for you.
Oh, sorry, I can't hear.
Right.
Go ahead, Ms. Whitaker.
My opinion to that with doing the fourth Wednesday is that we make it optional to Evan. I do not have a problem with that if that is what Evan wants to do. But I think that it should be optional going into his teenage years. And I only say this because in the past, let's say that Evan is sick. Let's say Evan is sick on a Wednesday and he doesn't want to go. Is Brian going to make him get out of bed and go? And if he doesn't, is he going to call the cops on me like he has in the past? We do not have good history of that.
Evan is a minor, Ms. Whitaker. He's a minor. He doesn't make these decisions. And so if in fact he doesn't want to go, he's got to tell his dad that. He's got to tell his dad he does not want to go. Hopefully dad will talk with him and give him some respect in terms of his opinion. But that's something that Evan's got to discuss with his dad.
Your Honor, I do have some
try.
concern
If
about
there's some
that.
problems, someone can petition the court, but the court to modify the school year parenting time by continuing the first, second, third weekends with dad, Friday at 6 till school on Monday morning. But after cross country ends, before track begins, dad will have during that window, the fourth Wednesday of the month.
So it's only during non-extracurricular activities, correct?
No, it's between cross country and track. If he's got extracurricular in the wintertime, the dad's got to make sure he gets him there.
That's what I was going to say. So let's say
extracurricular
Evan wants to
activity.
do art club. He has to take him to that if it's on a Wednesday.
Well, we have an order that both parents have to agree on activities because she's assigning up unilaterally for everything.
Okay, I don't know. Is there such an order?
There's an order in place. The parents have to agree to the activity.
Okay, I'm not going to have you parties coming back every month. Mr. Jansen, are you opposed to Evan and engaging in art class or art activity, extracurricular?
I am not opposed to that.
All right. So if the court's going on right now, I don't want to care if you're proposed later on. If in fact he decides to participate in an art club and that's on Wednesday, he's got to make sure that you get him to and from that. All right.
And then I think if that's the case, we can also go ahead and split up the therapy. Evan goes to therapy every 2 weeks. So Brian, is he in agreement to take Evan to one of his therapies?
Why don't you schedule a day other than the Wednesday?
I'm sorry?
Is therapy scheduled every Wednesday?
Yeah.
Okay, was it the first and third Wednesday, the first and fourth Wednesday? What
Second and
Wednesday of
fourth.
the month is his counseling?
It's the second and fourth Wednesday.
All right, so yes, well, that's again, yes, Mr. So he obviously is not going to engage in art club on Wednesdays if he's got counseling, correct, Ms. Whitaker?
It would just depend. I don't know what the art schedule is. He doesn't do his therapy until evening hours. She usually sees him at about 6 o'clock because she does evening hours with him. So if he did art club, it would be till like 3 or 4. And then he would have therapy like 6 to 7.
All right.
Okay.
So if that's when therapy is scheduled, Mr. Jansen, you take Evan to therapy. It's probably a good chance for the two of you to talk to and from therapy.
Well, and I've also let the plaintiff know that, hey, I can take him to any one of these appointments. However, she has historically scheduled them on times when she had him. So I've made myself available to take him to those. And it's only this month that he had them every Wednesday. Before there were Tuesdays and sometimes Mondays. But it looks like lately they just this month he had them on Wednesday. So.
And if that Wednesday counseling interferes with his art club, then the two of you as parents should try to modify that so that he can do both.
Right, and this is the first
time to hold your hand in every little detail of his life. The two of you need to communicate, work together, and make sure he can do both.
And then we
Right.
will need to discuss so that it's in a court order because I don't want any fighting when it comes of it. So if he's doing the last Wednesday overnight, if there is no school on Wednesday, are we in agreement that what are we doing about that? Because I have to work. I can't just be available to have you pick them up at 2:30 in the afternoon. So we could do 4:30. If there's no school that last Wednesday, you can pick them up at 4:30. Unless otherwise communicated, I guess put that in a court order. And then also, what are we doing if there's no school Thursday? Is dad dropping him back off at mom's at 9 a.m., same as we do on Monday? These are all things that we're going to have to communicate about in advance.
Yes, unlike this
Right.
art club that I'm just now learning about.
It's
Okay, I got better at
it's not
11:15
even
right now. I'm gonna put
established
you in
yet.
back. Mr. LaPrade, can you talk to these parties? I've got some jails waiting for me right now.
Okay.
Mr. Churchill, if you want
Yes,
to
Your Honor.
communicate with Mr. Pratt
Your
about,
Hon-
yes, it's a legitimate question if in fact there's no school pickup and
Okay.
drop
And
off
Your
times.
Honor,
Of course,
Your
we do some
Honor,
jail arraignments right now, so I'm gonna have to talk to Mr. Pratt and we'll call you in about 15 minutes.
okay.
Okay. Going back
Okay,
across, I
thank
need, I got jails waiting for me right now. 1:15. Okay.
You got jails waiting for you. We will watch that. We're gonna just put this in the oven. I mixed the remaining ingredients together and put the raspberries on top. They are going to bake now. It's gonna bake now for, let's say 25 minutes. Let's see if we can get it done before the end of this case. Into the oven she goes at 350. I also lined that pan with parchment paper. I sprayed it and I floured it. We will try and get cleaned up while we listen to the rest of this. I'm going to. This is also a very smart idea. I'm gonna clean up, bingo, and I'll make a cup of coffee because my coffee's almost done. We'll do that together as well. Thank God for the apron. I'm covered in shite. Okay. Oh, let's set the timer though, guys, because that's how my ADD works. Let's do it for 22 minutes, and we'll check it then. Shall we? I think we shall. Also, she is super controlling, hey? I felt like she was gonna, by the way, Paisley, please don't mix your batter that direction. Can you change the direction of the mixer? Which you can't do, but I just felt like she was gonna start critiquing me as well. Is that what you're doing on a Monday? Oh, I go to every event of my child. Ma'am, that's unrealistic. That is unrealistic. Oh! Do. Thank you so much, Casey Carey. I love it. I love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm glad that works. I have a different setup in the kitchen. Thank you.
Okay. Okay.
All down there. Just cut like you did over here and I'll connect you.
Good morning, Ms. Hicks.
Morning, Your Honor.
We'll recall the case in shortly.
This is Mr. Beaver.
Deputy Peters, good morning.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Sir, can you please state your name for the record?
Mmmm Beamer, Your Honor.
All right. For the record, Mr. Beamer is appearing this morning via Zoom from the Monroe County Jail. Also present is Monroe County Family Court Attorney Rebecca Hicks. Ms. Hicks, can you provide the course of information about Mr. Beamer, please?
Mr. Beaver, did he just say? Did you see me do a double take literally live? No, seriously, did he say Mr. Beaver? I don't think he did. Did he? Well, there's only one way to find out, Paisley. Hit play.
Certainly, Your Honor. This has now become an arrears only case. The last charge was last month in August of 2024. The current balance is $9,286.46. The last payment received was August 18th of 2021 in the amount of $84.36. There is a previous finding of contempt for Mr. Beamer. It is the second finding. It is from August 19th of 2019. There are 26 days remaining. The last time Mr. Beamer was before this court was just in July of this year when he was in the jail on his bench warrant. At that time, you sentenced him to 15 days immediate jail or $1,000. He served that jail time and then did not appear at the follow-up hearing or has not had any contact with a friend of the court since.
All right, so Mr. Beamer, you got 26 days hanging over your head. Obviously, the 15 days that was last imposed by the court did not stir you to any action in this matter. You didn't appear for the following court hearings. What's the deal?
Good morning, Judge. Not that the 15 days held no weight. I had some health problems, and I thought I had this worked out with my child's mother where this was no longer an issue. I know my child just turned 18, just graduated high school. I was told that this was signed off on or done away with. I guess it's my fault for not looking into it further and seeing that obviously it wasn't. Like I said, I've been dealing with the health issues and I just applied for disability. I'm trying to get back to work when I can. It's been rough, Your Honor.
Well, again, you could have, you got to be proactive. Mr. Beamer, you got to come in and talk to the front of the court and clarify if you think it's done with. Yes, there's no current support, but yeah, it's not going to be closed out till you pay this $9,000, max of $9,000 in arrearages. If in fact you are disabled, you're injured, come and talk to the front of the court. But you've ignored this obligation, Mr. Beamer. So why don't you state your name and current address for the record?
Namron Beamer, 111 West 7th Street, 161.
Okay. Are you currently employed, Mr. Beamer?
Not at the moment, Judge.
How do you support yourself?
I just my soon-to-be ex-wife has been helping me as of late. It's like I said, I just applied for disability. Just trying to get by, Judge.
But that's where you come in and talk to the front of the court. You can dig yourself out of the hole, but you're sitting on your hands, Mr. Beamer. Come and talk to the front of the court and say, I've got these issues. I got some physical problems. I'm applying for disability, but you've just ignored it. So this is time where you basically have to reach out to family and friends to put some money together to post a bond. Can you how much can you post in terms of bond? Can you post $1,000?
Your Honor, I couldn't post $100.
I'm sorry, I asked, can you post $1,000? $100 is a drop in the bucket.
Exactly, Your Honor. I said I couldn't post that. I literally, both my siblings are deceased. Both my parents are deceased. There's just nobody, Judge.
But do you understand, Mr. Beamer? You could avoid this. You got to come in and talk with the front of the court. I mean, you live here in town. All you got to do, you can walk to the front of the court.
Correct.
Let them know what's going on in your life.
Just a few minutes away, and I dropped the ball, Judge. I guess I asked for your mercy in this, and maybe it's let me get out here and get me on a little payment plan. You know, if I could pay $50, $100 a week, or just try to get it caught up, Judge. I don't know. Like I said, my apologies. I just understood that it was over with, and clearly it's not. It's my fault entirely, Judge.
Well, Mr. Beamer, the front of the court has a 4-page list of employers that are screening for employees. I can get you a job today. Michigan Bar is hiring dishwashers. Jack Lawn Service is hiring. There are jobs out there, Mr. Beamer, and you've not made a payment since August of 2021. The last I looked, it's now September of 2024. That's 3 years, and you've not paid a dime, Mr. Beamer. So it appears that you need to serve some more time in jail. I don't know what else to do. Mr. Hicks, what's your recommendation?
Your Honor, at this time, the front of the court is requesting that he serve the remaining balance of his jail sentence.
Mr. Beamer, anything you want to say before the court imposes a sentence?
Judge, like I said, I just asked for mercy in this. 20-something days in jail. If that's what you deem I gotta do, that's what I gotta do. Like I said, I'm not sick. I'm just trying to get back where I can live a life, and clearly this is my fault. You know, like I said, I raised my child. My child's 18 years old. I just not like I wasn't a father in his life. He's a grown man now, and I understand there's support that wasn't paid that I need to catch up on. But I asked, anything besides throwing me in jail, ain't still I can do nothing for anybody. I can't. Let me try to work out a small payment plan so I can try to get my. I don't know. That's it, Judge.
Mr. Beam, you don't need a payment plan. You just come in, you earn some money and you come in and make a payment. We're not gonna, you don't need a formal payment plan. You just gotta
No, I
make regular
understand.
payments.
Yes, sir.
So what is your disability?
I was born cerebral palsy, man, and I didn't have issues most of my life, and it's just now I'm getting older, it's starting to everything's catching up to me, man.
Right. All right, Mr. Beamer, I'm gonna give you the second opportunity. I'm gonna simply already serve 15 days in jail. I'm not gonna give you the full 26 days. When you get out of jail, you come over to the front of the court, get a copy of that jobs list. 4 pages. Get a job. And I'm gonna give you a short date to come back. Is Mr. Beamer entitled to any credit, Ms. Hicks?
I did not see. Let me see what day he was in there.
Mr. Beamer, what day were you?
I have him on the
Just
jail list starting today, Your Honor.
All right.
Correct.
So 15 days in jail. I'm gonna give you a date to come back, and we'll put it back on this court dock if you want, Ms. Hicks.
It's crazy.
So, there'll still be 11 days hand over your head, Mr. Beamer. I want you to get out and find a job. And if you come back and you've not made one payment, then you're gonna serve the next 11 days. I'm just telling you that, guaranteeing you that.
It doesn't matter. I'm going to lose my place to live. I'm going to lose everything. I'm going to go 11 more days. It gives me somewhere to sleep for 11 more days. You're giving me 15 days in jail when I can try to, in 15 days, I can pay $100, and it doesn't make any sense. They put me in jail for 15 days.
Well, you can, I'll tell you what, you can be released upon posting a $500 cash bond. So you reach out to family and friends. If you post $500, you'll be out this afternoon.
Judge, can I post a $200 bond and let me work towards paying the rest of 500? I'm trying, Judge. I'm really trying, man.
I'll tell you what, all right, Mr. Beamer, hold on, I'll let you post a $200 bond. So you post a $200 cash bond, we're gonna give you a date to come back within the next couple of weeks. And you just got to appear and tell me what, and tell me the employers that you've contacted. So it'll be 15 days in jail, but you can be released upon a $200 cash bond. And that $200 is going to go directly to your arrearages. So bring it down to closer to $9,000. You've got to get a job, Mr. Beamer. It's critical.
Thank you, Judge.
Ms. Hicks, you got a suggested date?
October 15th at 8 a.m.
That'll be on your docket, then I'll be available.
Correct.
All right, thank you. All right, Mr. Beamer, you're to appear before Ms. Hicks, October 15th at 8 a.m. You can appear by Zoom or you come in person.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you,
Ms. Hicks. A couple weeks, 3 weeks from tomorrow. And call around, see if you post a $200 bond. And then you get that jobs list. When you got to jail, come over to the front of the court, get that jobs list and make contact. It might not be your dream job, but it's something, Mr. Beamer, until you can dig out yourself out of this hole, all right?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, copy of this order will be sent over to the jail. You get a copy of it and make sure you appear for Ms. Hicks. If you blow it off, Mr. Beamer, I'm telling you, you're buying additional jail time. You can avoid it. That is within your control and power to avoid additional jail.
Thank you.
Anything further, Ms. Hicks?
Nothing on this matter, Your Honor.
Right. So 15 days in jail, but he can be released upon posting a $200 cash bond. All right, Mr. Beamer, take advantage of this opportunity, please.
Thank you, Judge.
Welcome. You can step out.
I'm making coffee. Does anyone want one? It's Tim Hortons coffee. So excited about it. Hi, Carol. Hope you're well too. And thank you, Christopher Engelby. I think I saw him here earlier. If you're just getting here, hi. We're in my kitchen. We're making a cake.
Ma'am, can you please state your name and current mailing address for the record?
Please don't state your address.
Monica Thomas, 2761.
I'm sorry, did you say Taylor or Thomas?
Thomas.
Okay.
THOMAS.
Okay. Is your first name Veronica?
Yes.
Okay. Were you formerly known as Taylor?
No, my name is Veronica Thomas.
All right. Do we have the right individual, Ms. Hicks?
Yes, Your Honor. I think that she gave her address, and I think that when she was saying Heatherwood Trail, you might have heard Taylor.
Taylor. Okay, all right. I got two different sheets here. One says Thomas, one says Taylor. All right. Okay, for the record, Ms. Thomas is appearing via Zoom from the Monroe County Jail. Also present is Monroe County Front Attorney Rebecca Hicks. I'm sorry for the confusion.
I'm sorry?
Never mind, the court is apologizing for the confusion. I had two different names, Veronica Thomas and Veronica Taylor. So, Ms. Hicks, can you provide the course information about Ms. Thomas, please?
Certainly, Your Honor. In this matter, there's a current support obligation of $125 per month. The current balance is $2,129.50. The last payment received was April 2nd of this year in the amount of $135.
Okay. Mhm.
And there is no previous finding of contempt on this matter.
Asking for a finding of contempt?
I am, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Thomas, do you understand you're being charged with civil contempt of court for failure to pay child support? Upon conviction, you could be ordered to serve up to 45 days in jail. Since there's possibility of jail, you have the right to an attorney. If you're unable to afford an attorney, the court will appoint an attorney to represent you at public expense. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do.
All right, are you requesting a court-appointed attorney, Ms. Thomas?
I'm sorry?
The court's
Am I
going to appoint an
requesting-
attorney to represent you because possibly of jail, Ms. Thomas. Let me ask you a few questions. Are you currently
right.
employed?
I'm employed through DoorDash. It's a part-time job?
You need to get a real job. I mean, DoorDash is fine on the side, but you need a job. We have regular income, Ms. Thomas. So how much, what do you take home per week?
Sometimes I take home like $40 a week.
30?
DoorDash don't pay much. 40. I'm currently
40.
trying to get on Social Security.
Okay. How much is your Social Security per month?
I'm not approved yet. I'm trying to get on Social Security through the Secretary of State office, or it was Social Security office. Sorry.
So who supports you right now?
I currently live with my mother and
All
my
right.
sister.
Okay. So you got to ask your mother to help you post a bond. Do you own any property of any value, like bank accounts?
I own a Chime account, but there's nothing in there. And there's nothing in my bank account.
All right. The court will appoint an attorney to represent you. Ms. Thomas, if you post bond, can you give me a cell number?
A cell number? Yes.
Yes, the attorney can
313.
reach you if you post bond.
Yes. 313.
Ms. Hicks, are you available on Wednesday?
I
Yes,
am,
I
Your
am.
Honor.
Oh, sorry.
This is a Judge Lohmeyer case, and I did contact her office to verify that she would be available to do this at 1 o'clock on Wednesday with the court-appointed attorney.
Okay, thank you. I didn't realize that. All right, so Ms. Thomas, you're ordered to appear before Judge Lohmeyer on Wednesday of this week. That's September 25, 2024. I'm sorry, 11 o'clock, Ms. Hicks, did you say?
1 p.m., Your Honor.
1 p.m.
1 p.m. Wednesday. Okay.
Yes. Copy of this order will be Ms. Hicks, are you any objection to a $500 cash bond?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, so Ms. Thomas, if you want to be released from jail between now and Wednesday, you need to post a $500 cash bond. So reach out to your mother. And that will apply towards your arrearages, not attorney fees or costs, but it's going to apply towards your arrearages. So if you can't post $500, the attorney will talk to you in jail. Otherwise, if you do post a bond of $500, you'll be released. Make sure you appear before Judge Lohmeyer on Wednesday of this week at 1 p.m. And your court-appointed attorney will be there to talk with you. Any questions?
No questions, Your Honor.
So make a call to your mom, see if you can get that bond posted, be home for dinner tonight, and that'll apply to your arrearages. If you don't have any other questions, that will conclude this hearing. Anything further, Ms. Hicks?
Nothing on this matter, Your Honor.
Okay, you can step out, Ms. Thomas, unless you have questions.
Thank you.
All cleaned up. I made my coffee. I loaded and unloaded the dishwasher. Bam! And the cake is doing pretty good. Let's give a little peek with the light. We're not going to open it. An apropos 4 minutes and 20 seconds approximately left on the timer. We are about to, I think, boss this situation is what I'll say. How many? We have 14 minutes.
Do you have any
left
cleanups, Ms. Hicks?
I had one. Another gentleman was arrested and posted bond. We could put that on the record.
Yes, please.
It's in the matter of Lori Veldhusen versus Martez Johnson, case 2021-006-943 DP. Respondent was arrested over the weekend on his bench warrant. He posted bond. Friend of the court would like to cancel his bench warrant, set a review for November 26th at 8 a.m. and forfeit the $500 cash bond on his arrears.
So ordered.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'll prepare these 2 jail orders and get those uploaded shortly.
Thank you, Ms. Hicks. Have a good afternoon.
You as well.
She's bringing in the Whitaker Jansen again.
Yeah, Carol, I just did it live from start to finish, baking the cake. I'm actually taking the apron off because all the mess is done, except I gotta wipe this up right here. There's little bits of raspberry. We made a raspberry vanilla cake. We were gonna make muffins. They could translate to muffins, y'all, but I can't find my muffin tin. And instead of like panicking about that and getting fixated on that, I just put them in a cake pan. We've got now 2 minutes and 26 seconds left. These fuckers are coming back to determine art club, cross country, and the 4th Wednesday of the month. I will definitely post the recipe. I will put it in the description of this video, and maybe I'll make a post of it. I'll take a picture of it. I'll try and do the influencer type things. Take a picture of the cake, make a post, link this video. You know what we got. Yeah, no worries, Carol. I was catching everyone up. My goal today was to try and beat the case. So I also had to set everything up in the kitchen
After I left on Friday.
What, Judge?
They want me to start radiation the 30th, so sort of what I was expecting, but they confirmed, so it's set up starting September 30th, a week from today. So I'm gonna make them leave here at 2:30 every day. That's how they want to do it, but I have to do it.
Yes, I still have to do another show and the gym today. Baking a cake, is that helpful? No, but I wanted to do it. Also, on Thursday, we're doing a special edition, you guys. Judge, wait. On Thursday, we're doing a special edition. I reached out. I got a meatloaf recipe from one of my favorite YouTubers. And we are going to make that. I will post that recipe in advance in case you guys want to join me for meatloaf dinner on Thursday. Wow, doesn't that sound delicious? In fact, I grew up in a house we never had meatloaf, ever. It's not a very, I guess, Scottish thing. That's mainly my family's influence, so. Oh, you know what? Just before we let this get going, let's just check in on the cake. We're almost done. Shall we? Do you guys want to come closer and see? I'll give you a bit of a POV opening the cake. Opening the oven. Oh, timer and all. Ooh, is she done? Well, we have to figure that out. I don't think so. I can already just tell by the jiggle and that she's only a little bit brown on the edges, but the way you check is you take a knife and you go into the middle of the cake. Now it did come out clean, but not everywhere. There's some crumbs on it. So I want it to bake for another probably 5 minutes. 5 minutes. 5 more minutes. There we go. Okay. I wish it was just as easy as hitting Control Z now to get you back there. I forgot I moved the whole fucking camera. Alright, let's watch the court while I move it back.
We call the case of Danielle Whitaker versus Brian Jansen. The parties have conferred. Thank you, Mr. Pratt. With Mr. Pratt a little further, the recommendation is as follows.
In the breakout room.
Oh.
We're trying to get her out.
Okay, I'm sorry. Sorry. I thought, okay.
Someone said she was coming up. I didn't hear anything about that.
Thought she was here.
I've got her still in the breakout room. Stephanie just went in here to grab her.
Okay.
This is a no frosting cake, but we could make frosting. I don't usually like frosting that much, and yes, I can bake and cook.
For Danielle to hop in.
I like to cook.
She must have gotten dropped. She's not in the breakout room.
You're so loud.
She was, and then she left, like, within a couple seconds.
Okay, I'm gonna do that PPO. Let me know when she's on.
Okay,
PPO.
I'm just gonna do a PPO real quick.
Yeah, let me know. I can, if she's here, I'll come right back out.
I'll let you know. Yeah, you're fine.
Take us along for the PPO. What? I want to do the PPO. Can we do that?
Put your phone over there. For some reason it's.
How many steps have I done already? Not enough today, you guys.
It's sensitive sometimes, other than others.
Also, there's a skylight here. I just want you guys to know that. I thought that this would be good for my
Yeah, talking to that.
lighting. It's just terrible for my lighting.
You gotta,
I can't understand it. I don't understand.
He can't hear you unless you have that microphone right underneath you.
Ryan, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, maybe get a little bit closer.
Really put it towards.
They lost her, so they're trying to find her. I don't know if she's calling back in or what.
Oh,
They lost Danielle.
Okay.
She's not popped in yet. I mean, she was in the breakout room. I saw Stephanie went in there to grab her, and then all of a sudden she was gone. So I thought she was coming back out.
It's cloudy as fuck, John. There's no blue sky up there. It's just still very bright here. And I've got all the other lights on. Believe me, watch when I turn out the... Maybe the natural light alone is better? Oh, accents my tummy. No, honestly, what I would need is just like a white sheet covering the skylight so it's just not so bright. It's good to have light like that, but not above me. That would be ideal, like in front of me. Can the judge figure this out? Come on, judge, our cake's almost done. Am I gonna beat you or is you gonna beat me? This is like the weirdest Food Network show ever. Our contestants are in court and in the kitchen cooking to save their lives.
Can he text her? See where she's at? Or she's not coming back in or what?
Flush, I had to make
Ryan,
a cake.
can you text her and find out where she's at? Or she got you on block?
She's blocked him.
She's probably got me on block on her phone. We have the app. I could send a message through that.
Try the phone.
She's coming in now. She's coming in now.
Oh, she's coming in now, I guess. Okay.
Hello, I'm so sorry about my phone. I'm in terrible signal today.
You want to tell him she's here? I don't know if we're talking to that lady or not.
Recalling the matter of Danielle Brian Jansen.
Very well, the parties having discussed arrangements to exchange the minor child when there's school, when there's not school. So Ms. LaPrade has provided the revised recommendation that parenting time will remain as currently ordered. However, one slight modification: on the 4th week of the month, fathers should have Wednesday overnights between the cross-country and track seasons. Pick up from school, and if no school, 5 o'clock pickup. If there's no school, father will drop off Thursday morning at 9 a.m. There's no school on Thursday. That is revised recommendation. Yes, obviously, if Evan has art class, if he has counseling on Wednesdays, Mr. Jansen, you need to make sure you transport him to those activities, and hopefully he can participate in those activities, be a part of his life. Ms. Whitaker, do you understand the revised recommendation this morning?
I do, and Your Honor, your statement just now about therapy, while we were on our break, Mr. Churchill did not realize that I was still in the breakout room, and he just now said to Brian that he can contact the therapist and get the date changed so that he doesn't have to take Evan to therapy, that I have no right to schedule Evan's therapy on Brian's time for that Wednesday. So I would like to suggest, I mean, I think it's only fair to split the therapy. If Brian, the only reason, like if Evan's doing therapy during the week, and he has the opportunity to split that with Evan, then I feel that we should do so. Do we need to go ahead and put that in a court order?
So it's really a shame you parents cannot agree on whether today is Monday or Friday, whether it's wintertime or fall. Come on.
Okay, so I guess I could ask Brian.
I've already provided my my feedback about that. That I have been more than willing, and I have text messages to back up as evidence that I have suggested, like, hey, I can take him to those. But
okay,
like I said,
so if it's right now scheduled for Wednesdays, it'll continue on Wednesdays.
So Brian, you are in agreement to take Evan to his therapy?
Yes, and if in fact it's but if someone changed it, come back to court. You guys can keep coming back to court, and we'll keep fighting every week. All right. That will conclude this hearing. The two of you need to, as parents,
Your Honor, that
try
was
to make work for each other.
Your Honor, Ms. LaPrade asked me to speak with you because I wanted a court order for that there has got to be communication between parties before continuing filing motions to come to court. There has got to be communication.
Well, the two of you seem incapable of doing that.
Ms. LaPrade also said that I could ask you for family therapy suggestions. Is there co-parenting therapy, family therapy? Because clearly the online course didn't work because there's still no prior communication before coming to court. So can we please put that in an order? There has to be communication before filing a motion.
We're communicating by app close, is that correct?
Correct.
Ready?
All right, that's reasonable. So two of you shall communicate with each other via app close before you file a motion.
Thank you.
Your Honor, there has also been historic where the plaintiff has also not done that as well. We're
going to do that from this point forward, Mr. Jansen. From this point forward, we're going to do that. You text, you communicate with each other before you file a motion.
Thank you.
From this point forward. And you check with the therapist. Yes, if in fact, for example, if Evan, just makes common sense, if Evan has art club on Wednesdays and that's going to interfere with his counseling, talk with the counselor about changing it, a different day of the week. I mean, so it should probably stay Wednesdays if that's what's been happening. Continue the Wednesdays unless his art club interferes with that.
And like I said, that art club is not even set in stone. Evan had mentioned wanting to do it. Okay. It's not even until October. That's why nothing has been said. But Evan is almost 13. If he wants to do something, he should be able to talk to his dad about it. I don't need to relay. You know what I mean? Like I had every intention of telling Brian in October, hey, Evan wants to do this art club, but it's still the middle of September. That's the only reason it hasn't been discussed yet. Trust me, I'm very aware that we have to communicate about extracurriculars. And I have been communicating with Brian about therapy appointments. So this is what I'm talking about as far as I wish we could get into some therapy, because every response from Brian is, well, historically that, we are not in the past anymore. So I am trying to move forward. So Your Honor, do you have Do you have any suggestions for some co-parenting therapy or family therapy? I don't know what to do for the next 5 years. We still have 5 more years, and at this rate, you're going to see us another 10 times in court because it doesn't
Yep,
stop.
and I'm sure I've had you both complete the problem-solving workshop. That obviously didn't, neither of you benefit from that. But again, the court will simply add this recommendation this morning that you should communicate with the other before you file any motion.
Okay, thank
I also
you.
strongly implore the courts to review the parties' communication even after that, because there's still jabs being sent from the plaintiff that are not solely goal-focused on Evan and his best interest. So I would
Like
strongly
what?
implore the court to review those kind of communications as well. So.
Anything
Good
further,
luck,
Mr.
Brian.
Churchill? All right, that will conclude this hearing. You can both zoom out. Thank you, Mr. Pratt. If you can just add that one provision that party shall
Yes, sir.
communicate with that before filing any motions.
Yes, sir. I'll get that uploaded and in your queue.
Does that also
All right,
include contempt of court?
There's enough challenges in life, Mr. Jansen, Ms. Whitaker. Try to make it easy for each other or better for each other. There's enough challenges in life. Don't make it more
And Your Honor,
complicated.
I've done my best, and even like with the whole tax return, I even try to resolve it outside of court. And I told her, like, this is what needs to happen. And it only took me taking her to court in order for that to happen. So I'm not purposely trying to aggravate. I'm not purposely trying to take people to court. But when I'm trying to resolve things outside
Right.
of court and it's not happening.
Miss Whitaker has
I have
left court, so
Oh my God, we did it, you guys. We did it. First of all, roll on G. That sounds really cool. Going to a rock concert type festival. I love festivals. I love the idea of them. As long as there's internet and sort of like facilities, I'm pretty down. Flusha, yes, I was taking these pictures for my Snapchat. Not really. They're for my OnlyFans. I'll strip down and take some pictures near this cake before I cut into it. Now we are going to what I would recommend doing for this would be loud, welcome. I would recommend cutting this up and putting it into the freezer so that you don't eat it all at once, because this is delicious. We managed our goal today, you guys, which was for me to bake a cake faster than the case was done, and we did it. Tomorrow we're gonna do the same thing, except we're doing cookies. That's right, chocolate chip cookies. I will be posting the recipe for this cake along with some pictures on my platforms, my socials. You know how they go. My socials. Hopefully tomorrow we'll have a little bit of light cover and I will be good to go. We'll back on tonight with regularly scheduled programming. This is just vacation tied over for our friends from Credence and Mikey. The boys are on the vacay, which means Paisley is working double by choice. Honestly, I'm bored too, so I appreciate hanging out. What time tonight? What time tonight? What time tonight? What time tonight? Let's do 6 o'clock my time, so 9 o'clock East, because I'm gonna go to the gym and I'll do that before we do tonight's show. Yeah, I love hanging out with you guys too. It's super fun to hang out in the kitchen, to have a cup of coffee together, and to get to know each other. If you have a recipe that you would like me to try out, let me know. We are, I've got a few things up my sleeve. Like I said, we have Meatloaf Thursday. That's the loud. I'm cooking Vegas Matt's wife's meatloaf. I've emailed them and got the recipe. First of all, I'd like to do a shout out to them. I emailed them last night and they responded to me within minutes on a Sunday night at like 11 p.m. with a recipe for meatloaf. And this is a gambling channel. Okay? There is not a lot of ingredients. In fact, I'll tell you the ingredients. It's a very short list. Let me just see here. Where is it? Where is it? It's here. Not there. It's not there, it's here. 2 pounds of ground beef, good quality, not too lean. 2 packages of Lipton onion soup mix. 4 to 5 eggs, and 1 cup of old-fashioned oats, and that's it. Now, I don't like meatloaf that much either. Like, I've been told about it, but here's the thing. I like trying other people's recipes, and I like trying what people like. I like understanding how people's mouths work, you know? Like, everybody's mouth tastes things different, and I think that's cool. Bob, we have 1 giant flat muffin, arguably the best part of the muffin, really, the top. We just made 1 long top. Anyways, you guys, I had such a fun time tonight. Ooh. I am very used to my sign-off being at nighttime. Haven't had any much. Actually, I've had quite a bit of coffee, but still. I am so glad that we hung out today. We still are going to hang out tonight. And I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day. I'm going to the gym. I got a few other things to do. But I will check back in with you tonight. Remember that I love you and I'm proud of you. And I will see you in the next video.
Ways down and ready to ride.